Good morning, friends. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. I am live this morning. We're going to do some expense tracking. It's been a long time since I did a live. I think it was November. And I said that I was going to pause the live streams. I was going to get through Vlogmas, and then I was going to come back in January. And that didn't happen. And now here we are, beginning of February, and I'm trying to bring the live streams back. Now, when I was doing this before, I was doing it every weekday morning. I called it my Morning Money Minute because the idea was just to be online here live, 10 minutes or less, super quick, and just track my expenses from the previous day. I don't know if I'm going to do that moving forward. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to track my expenses from all last week, and then we'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll go live when I can. I'm not making any promises. I just felt like going live this morning. I was going to set up my camera and film my expense tracking anyway. Tuesday is my big filming day here for YouTube, and quite frankly, I just missed the live vibe here. So we're going to do it here live today. I have my expense tracker here in front of me. It's the last expense tracker for January. As much as I loved this pattern, you guys, I am so ready to move on to February. If you haven't seen my February worksheets yet, I popped them in here because I am so excited to use them. Starting this week, I'll just show you the paycheck budget and the expense tracker for February. Look at how cute that is. So cute. I cannot wait to use this. My video here is looking a little hazy to me. I don't know. Maybe my camera lens is dirty. I'm not really sure. How does it look on your guys' end? Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you here. I'm so happy that some of you were able to join me. I know this was very last minute. It was not really planned ahead of time. I decided this morning, like, I'm getting live. So we're just going to roll with it. I have a lot to get through, not a lot of time. I'm actually planning on working a half a day today. Typically on Tuesdays, I stay home from my office job and I just focus on YouTube and household things, but we're supposed to get a snowstorm tomorrow. And I don't like driving in snowstorms. And I think I've made that clear over the years. I don't like driving in general. It gives me a lot of anxiety. So I'm going to try to avoid going into the office tomorrow, or at the very least going into the office and then coming home early. So I'm kind of splitting my time, half home, half work today, and probably the same for tomorrow. So I don't have a ton of time. I got up super early this morning. I filmed a grocery haul. I got some stuff done around the house, doing this live stream, doing some filming and editing, and then heading into work for the second half of the day. So as I ramble, let's just get started. We are tracking expenses from January 28th through February 3rd. So last week, hi guys. I'm seeing people pop up in the chat. If you guys have any questions or comments, I will definitely try to check in and answer those kind of as I go. Bear with me. Like I said, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while since I was live. So last week was a little bit different because last week I had to do my transfers for my next month's bills, and I had to pull cash for my savings, but I did 2 weeks at a time because the week previous I was sick and didn't get a chance to budget. So these numbers are going to be a little bit different than usual. If you watch my budget videos every week and it looks a little bit different, that is why. So on the 28th, did my little payday routine. I transferred money from my typical checking account where my paycheck is direct deposited to a checking account that I have that's specifically for bills. We are a month ahead on our bills. So every week I set a certain amount of money aside in my little next month's bills account. And then I have all my bills set to auto pay from that account. So it makes it super easy. I don't have to think about when things are due or if I have enough money. All of my January bills, for example, were paid with December income. All of my February bills are paid with January income. So this is the last transfer that I made for my February bills. And it was 2 weeks worth of money. So the category there is bills. the amount was $1,400. So I typically do $700 a week. This time it was 2 weeks, so it was 14. Same with cash. You guys see me do my cash stuffing videos every week. I got to have cash for that. So again, it was 2 weeks worth of savings. If you watched last week's savings challenge video and my budget videos in general, they were kind of hectic because it was so much money I was dealing with at one time. Those videos actually didn't get a ton of views, I think because they were just posted a little bit differently on different days or whatever. So if you missed those, make sure you go back and check them out. But I ended up stuffing a total of $700 cash between the two videos. So I pulled that cash out. The category there is savings because all that money goes into savings, whether it be high priority savings, low priority savings, you know the drill. So that was $700. Okay. And then we move on to just like the typical spending. If you guys are hearing crashing in the background, I should have named one of my cats Crash because he's constantly causing trouble and chaos. Okay, so on the 28th, outside of those transfers, I actually had a no spend day. I didn't spend any money from my variable categories. I consider a day a no spend if I don't spend from the categories here in my variable expenses. If I don't spend on groceries, eating out, or like my spending category, I consider that a no spend. So yes, I paid bills. Yes, I put money into savings, but I didn't spend from those categories that I often struggle to stick to my budget in. So whenever that happens, I like to put $5 into savings. I'm going to end up pulling that $5 for the no spend and adding it to a cash stuffing that you guys will see on my channel, hopefully this evening if I can get it all filmed. But that was $5. So I'm going to put $5 into savings for that no spend day. On the 29th, I placed an order with a company called Twisted Dough. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's like high protein, like cookie dough and peanut butter and that sort of thing. I got the stuff for Austin. You guys know if you've been watching my videos, my 17-year-old son is heavy into weightlifting and he's always trying to get more protein. He asked if we could try this Twisted Dough company. So I took this order out of our spending category. Technically it's groceries, right? But it's my budget. I can do what I want. I took it out of my spending budget. And it was $49.51. So that was the 29th. On the 30th, we went to Panera for dinner. I love Panera. You guys will have to let me know if you like Panera as much as I do. That's been like my hyper fixation lately. I love their soups. I love their sandwiches. It's pricey though. For my family of 4, it cost $57.69. Yikes. But it was really delicious. So there's that. That was the 30th. On the 31st, we had another no spend day, which was fantastic. $5 going into savings for that. That was actually my husband's birthday. He ended up working like a 10-hour day that day, so we didn't really do anything to celebrate his birthday on his birthday. He ended up making a nice prime rib dinner for his birthday the following day. Yes, he made his own birthday dinner. That's what he wanted to do. That was all good. On the 1st of February, we did some grocery shopping from Walmart. And the amount we spent was $93.24. And that category, of course, is grocery. My eye is twitching. Oh my gosh. That's cute. Sorry about that, guys. Also on the 1st, my husband and I were out and about running errands, doing some things. And we ran into a gas station and grabbed me a fountain Coke Zero because it's my favorite. And it was $2. And I actually ended up taking that out of spending as well because, again, it's my budget. I can do what I want. Sometimes people get really bent out of shape about what I categorize things as. Like if it's a grocery item, but I don't use my grocery budget for it, people get upset. I apologize if that's you, but we're just, it's all going, as long as it's all accounted for, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. If I go a little bit over in my grocery budget, but I'm a little bit under in my eating out budget and it all evens out, I don't get too bent out of shape about it. Okay. On the 2nd, we had a no spend day. So $5 more go into savings. It was actually a really, really good week, you guys. I feel like we did a really great job of spending a pretty small amount of money for us anyway. So yeah, I feel really good about that. $5 going to savings there. And then the 3rd, which was the last day of my week because I budget Tuesday to Monday. And the 3rd was the Monday. We had another no spend. I think that's the most no spend days we've ever had in one week. So I'm calling that a win for sure. So $5 going into savings there. Okay, so that's all the spending we did this week. Like I said, I felt like it was a pretty good week. I am really quickly just going to add everything up. My categories are bills, savings, spending, grocery, and eating out. I've got my highlighters here. We're going to highlight and add things up as we go. Bills, of course, is pretty easy because it's just the one transaction. Being a month ahead is the best thing I ever did for my budget. Makes it so easy. It's like a no-brainer. I don't have to think about it. So we had $1,400 for bills. That's 2 weeks worth of bills. For savings, it was $700 for the cash that I have already stuffed. You saw that last week, plus the no spend days of $5, $10, $15, $20. Wow, 4 no spend days. Awesome. So that was $720. And for savings, I like to use green because it's cash money, most of my savings anyway. So just go down the line and highlight that. All right, for spending, I'm going to do purple. We had the $49.51 for the twisted dough, plus $2 for the soda. So technically both of those things could have been grocery, but I decided to take that out of my spending category. Personal finance is first personal. You guys do what works best for you. You don't have to do what I do. God, don't do what I do sometimes. For groceries, we had the $93.24. That was our last sort of low spend grocery week. For February, we have a new goal, which I will talk about. Well, I'll just tell you, we're going to try not to eat out at all in February. And if you guys know us at all, you know that that's really tough. I don't know if we're going to make it or not, but we're going to try. February is a shorter month. Figured if I was going to go for it, February was the month to do it in. But speaking of eating out, this last week of January, we did have $57.69, which for us is pretty low in a week. So any week that I go under $100 for eating out is like a good week in my book. So let's get totals really quickly, and then I will say goodbye. $1,400 for bills plus $720 for savings. $51.51 for spending, $93.24 for grocery, and $57.69 for eating out was $2,322 with 44 cents, which is a lot. But remember, we had 2 weeks worth of bills, 2 weeks worth of savings, so that's why it's higher than usual. The variable categories was just 1 week though, and let me add that up separately. $51.51 plus $93.24 plus $57.69, $202.44, which is fantastic for us. So that feels really good. It was an overall really great week. How did you guys do this past week with your budget? Were you over budget? Were you under budget? I would love to hear from you. If you're here live, leave it in the chat. If you're watching the replay, leave it in a comment down below. I know January was a really hard month for a lot of people. Of course, January is like so long. It lasts forever and ever and ever. We spent a lot of money in January outside of our paycheck budget because we had lots of birthdays in January and we've got some stuff going on behind the scenes that's costing money. So it was a pretty high spend week outside of our paycheck budgets. But overall, for our paycheck budgets each week, we did really, really well this past month. Stuck with our low spend grocery month. And I learned a lot from that. I learned that we can spend less on groceries. We can have less food on hand. It's okay to do that. And as a result, moving forward, I think I'm going to be able to keep my grocery budget lower, which is great. Lower for us anyway, compared to what we typically would spend before. I think I've learned I can budget less and I can manage. It's only 7 days at a time. We can do anything for 7 days, right? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys this morning. Let me know what you thought being back live in the morning. If you want to see these videos, like live streams once a week where I do my expense tracking all at once, or if you'd like to see them on a more regular basis, yeah, let me know what you think. You guys know I'm always here to listen. Chantel says January was definitely the longest month ever. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's, for me anyway, because it's just so cold and gray and gross out in Southeast Michigan. January is like the worst weather month. February is not much better, but it's a shorter month anyway. And you've got like Valentine's Day in there if you celebrate that sort of thing. So it sort of breaks it up a little bit. January is just like gross, and I'm ready for it to be over. It is over at this point. I'm happy that we are into February. Not usually one to wish away time, but February is bound to be a better month, right? Okay. Thank you guys for being here with me live. And for those of you that watch the replay, if you wouldn't mind giving this video a thumbs up on the way out, that helps out my channel a ton. I really appreciate you all. And I'll see you guys hopefully this evening for my budget closeout for the week we just talked about. So be on the lookout for that. All right? Bye, friends.